Good morning. Welcome to the collective. We are live. We live stream on YouTube every day. If this is your first live stream, thanks for tuning in. We
got some orange folder news today.
I already have, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Orange folder at 8:30.
Yeah.
No red folder today. We have also no red folder tomorrow or Friday. I swear there was more red folder this week.
It kind of because it's tentative, right? It didn't come out because it was tentative.
But it doesn't even show it on here anymore.
Because it was tentative, they moved it. Check next week.
Next week we have
Probably all the news drivers that we had this week.
CPI on Friday.
Okay. So, from a technical analysis standpoint, my expectation for the overnight session was not completed. Or at least when we closed yesterday and opened Asia session, I was looking for the move lower. I wanted to see this SMT hold. It's red because it was invalidated. And to deliver lower from this internal sweep and this imbalance here. When I saw this right here, this candle at 1 in the morning, I had to flip it. It kind of looks like the market changed right there too. So we've invalidated that. Traded through the high that formed with the SMT. So I was like, okay. And then worked our way up in London session. Posted that's a large range. 185 points, so that's not really that irregular with the volatility we're having. And then once London session closed, we left this high here at pretty much 25,000 and then took it. Running higher. Holding the SMT, though. That's one thing I want to keep in mind, and it might play into our bias here. You want to do some...
We do have SMT at the previous day's high, but it is...
That's the SMT, yeah.
Different highs.
No?
Different... Like, ESNYM took the high yesterday in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
And then from that high, we had another manipulation, the second one, happened on all three. The only one that we still haven't gotten was the previous day high SMT. Or the previous day high, taken on NQ, which on the daily chart it is still an SMT. Plus the move we had overnight was super slow. Very large, but slow. Slow grind higher. Not many fair value gaps.
Now, what I would like to say, though, yesterday on the live stream, I had said, if we inverse this 4 hour, I'm bullish to all-time highs. So this 4 hour here, if we're inversing it, bullish. Well, we got that inverse with the 2 a.m. 4 hour candle printing. Opened, shallow, move lower, expansion. This is London session, or the half of London session, I guess. That inverse, that 4 hour, right? Also forming this down close candle, getting closed above, right? That order block there. I'm looking at that to see NQ run to the previous daily, that says low. That's meant to say daily high. Yes, that's what I'm looking for, mainly because we invalidated the S&T here and the 4 hour gap, and we are delivering from the new week opening gap, which was the current low of the week, and then we took it, forming Tuesday low of the week. What do you think about
that? Yeah. YM is pretty much going to inverse the daily gap unless it pulls some miraculous move. But it traded pretty far above it yesterday and then ended up retracing back into it for the close. And then so far today we've just been up. YM does have a large unfilled 4 hour as well as ES. So if this SMT holds, that would be an area I'd like to see. want to see how this 4 hour closes. If we end up getting the hourly change instead off the SMT, could possibly look for shorts.
I'd want to be
For the
shorting
4
before
hour.
we take this current 4 hour low, being safe with a break even and riding it into the 4 hour order block for shorts here. They're not off the table, in my opinion. It's not like a market where you cannot short it. It's going to expand right away. No, I think it would drop below the current 4 hour low, potentially lower. Right, we have this 4 hour imbalance. Maybe we want to go back down into there. That'd be a lot of overlapping price, but I think trading to there, regardless of bias, I think that we would go there. I'm just watching how we take the internal low here. So if we drop down, take this 15-minute sell side, 730 low, right? And it is rejecting, say SMT, say whatever. Then there's already SMT there, actually. There was already SMT. There's one right here. We had that. Yeah. So we're on the 5-minute chart. We see that this 5-minute imbalance got inversed, right? Trading back into it right now, offering a premium on the leg that inversed that 5-minute, right? Offering actually equilibrium, not a premium. Now for the highs, we had, this was actually a manipulation. It took the high by a little bit. Obviously, you know, it would be nicer if it was to take it a little more aggressive, but when we're this close to the high here, I mean, like 17 points away is not like super close to the high. I'm just watching ES here because ES is a little bit more bullish. Put SMT in. Already you get this internal high here. God, I'm gonna blow my nose, but I don't want to miss a trade. That's what I wanted right there. That little internal sweep. You got 7 minutes and 40 seconds, or 7 minutes, 10 seconds until we close the 50 minutes candle. So what I like looking at this move here off of the open, we have this internal SMT now. We have this fair value gap, which is the not quite the first percent of fair value gap. Now, seeing this aggressive movement, honestly, I'm not even against the shorts here. Just taking the off of what I'm presented here. It's like the market hears when I say I'm not against taking the trade here, and then it just runs it to the break-even level without me. Nice. Ain't that nice? Look at that. So obviously now, because the 730 sell side on ES wasn't taken, there's SMT there. Right, so as we work down, I'm watching what we're doing here. In terms of like sell side objectives, I guess, I'll highlight them so it seems like it's a little bit more put together. Right, one was that 730 sell side. If we're on a lower time frame, you're not really seeing it because there's not like real aggressive displacement anywhere. Right, you have this little 15-minute consolidation. You can mark out these kind of relative equal lows here. But I go to the hourly and the 4 hour, right? We have this hourly order block. That is also the 4 hour order block, which all of today's trading has been pretty much working towards forming. And then we have that 4 hour imbalance there. this fair value gap would be the first presented fair value gap. Actually, wait. No, you could include the 930 would be the first presented fair value gap, actually. Pardon my mistake.
Yeah, I want to see why YM reacts here, because YM took the 8 a.m. candle high. Because it retraced into that hourly inversion on open there, and then got a strong reaction off of it.
So we're looking
Did take the internal high though, so we'll see how that reacts.
And looking at ES2, it's not quite flipped, looking bearish yet, right? The need for NQ to trade to that 4 hour isn't like the most required thing in the world.
Yeah, so I would honestly like
be waiting for 10 a.m. is what you're gonna say?
Yeah, but if this 4 hour candle, like say because we swept this low from 7:30, if we kind of consolidate here and leave open the 4 hour gap that we might print, we have a small 4 hour.
We have one.
We have one lower, but I'm talking
Okay.
like we might form one here at 10. If we form that one, and obviously fail to displace through it, then could get a continuation long, because YM doesn't look like it's reversing. And if ES fails to reverse too and just continues to displace higher, then this SMT is not going to hold, and I'd look to get onside with NQ to trade higher. Those relative equal highs we left last week Friday are really nice too.
I know it kind of messed me up in the moment. It was holding my long to those highs. I'm sorry, I'm typing out my this trade, explaining why I'm not taking it. Just to clarify, I'm not taking it because there's SMT with the 730 sell side. Okay, here's a long. What can I use on any other intermediate time frame between the 15 minute and the 1 minute to have a good change in state? That's what I'm looking for. Say we get the 2 minute change in state in a minute 20. Really just confirming this would be nice. So many gaps here. Every candle was a 15-minute gap because it was all 300 points.
The other thing I'd like to note about the daily open is the day opened and we just expanded higher. We didn't trade into any PD array after, like, once we opened.
Yeah.
We did trade into, I guess, an hourly gap prior to the close. But I usually like the open of the day to do, if I'm going to expect it a full expansion day, I'd like it to do the manipulating after it opens. So that's another thing to look out for, is if we do get the bearish confirmations, the current low of the day would be a good target.
Woohoo! But he's betting on a 300 point downfall. Holy, why am I tweaking out there? Sorry, 200 points. Short for 200 point move. Let's do a nice 4 contracts and you'd be nice, and your pockets would be padded. Okay, looking at this 1 minute time frame, we see rejected this imbalance here. It actually got the inversion, so I'd like to clarify that I don't really take these first up move inversions. I don't trust them. I don't like them. It's not really my model, right? Further SMT with ES at the high, it's holding bullish. So this high was actually a little shift in strength here, because at the point NQ had taken it and been more bullish, while ES, technically higher time frame, was more bullish. So, but then we see NQ drop lower, presenting that it is more bearish. So we have this internal sweep. I'm watching that. I do like the longs here. I would like kind of, I guess this would be similar to yesterday. I wasn't part of that expansion long yesterday. I missed the like the internal 1 minute time frame entry because I didn't have that much faith in it. And then I looked for a 5 minute retracement and I did not get that. However, this seems something special. With a blatant disregard to getting me in there. With a no close here. That's reasonable. You getting in on this close?
No.
Why not?
I still want to see how this hourly closes.
Oh, we didn't get the 2 minute change in state. That was my freaking. That's what I was gonna do the entry off of. That's funny.
You said we didn't get it
Nope.
on the 2 minute. We did.
I just said we didn't get it.
Down there, no.
That's not the change. This is the actual change in state.
That wasn't the last down move.
Yeah. Well, that's the better one though. I take that one all the time. That's the legitimate formation of it. And if I took your 2 minutes at change in state, I would be crying myself to sleep tonight. I'd have been stopped out right there. See, this 2 minute change in state off of this down close candle, this down move. Then we take the internal low. So I guess to form the breaker, it'd be this move, right? It's kind of overlapping quite a bit though. Oh my gosh, I forgot about the frickin' this thing. Yeah. Forgot that I'm streaming my top monitor. Okay, so ES is taking those highs. Right? So now technically there's SMT here. This is the 2 minute change in state that I was talking about right there that I did not get. Why is it different on this candle? It's different on this chart than this one too. Okay, no, it's not. So didn't get that 2 minute change in state and didn't get the long trade. Watching it now because ES is taking this and NQ just does look, it just looks more bearish here. So to see it drop down to the order block in the 4 hour gap seems very likely. We are getting good volatility. Like this is like it's medium volatility. You know, Monday was a little too, no, Tuesday was too high volatility. 100-point stop loss for me. It couldn't take that. I didn't want to be getting in trades with 1 micro. Okay, so we have that first 15-minute candle close after open, which is closing, forming a order block, forming the 50-minute version, which we wicked into here. So this leg of price. Don't keep dumping. Just calm down. The only trade for the downside of me would be if I'm targeting the session lows, which I'm gonna look to do here if we can get. Damn, though, we just traded to that. No, I like how ES is rejecting off of that internal high. It's quite aggressive, considering NQ is more bearish. I would think it would sell off. So I guess the trade I should be in here would be the 1 minute close right there. Should be filled there. But now I don't really like how now if I were taking the trade, I'd be selling into the 4 hour order block. Okay, this SMT was just invalidated. Okay. So, watching how we react though to this area right here, kind of the order block for value gap, but we have the bullish order block, which is the blue. I'm gonna go try and base myself on the higher time frame here. Right, 15 minute. The 15 minute seems quite bearish. I'd be pretty confident in that. But so far, there's been no short entries that I've liked or that have played out. So it's very odd currently. Wow. Off of that order block, we are getting this very bullish movement. I would say we don't need to trade down to the lower 4-hour gap. But I don't want to jump the gun before we get to close here. Now this would be kind of your 10 a.m. reversal. You're highlighting the macro time, which we are in right now. So that high. Where would you run longs to?
All-time high is a little far. I don't know. I'd probably go with like the daily. Wait, no, 4-hour.
Daily wick.
Or sorry, daily gap. You could go daily gap fill. That'd be a fine target.
Sounds mythical.
Maybe the upper hourly gap.
Yeah, this is above the buy side. As I'm just kind of monitoring this, we are between both sides of the market, in my opinion. Like NQ to be bullish here. Yes, continue this displacement. The 15-minute bearish inversion, right? So we had that bullish for 50-minute imbalance. We ran through it. We're kind of consolidating within that, right? We've had these kind of three moves higher into it. So I want to just make sure I'm on the right side. We are within the macro, so kind of a good time window here. I am bullish. ES is rallying. We'll get this 3-minute close here, and that's kind of what I like.
Seven minutes until 10 a.m. as well. Main thing I'm looking at those, if ES and YM are failing to reverse lower, then I'd expect NQ to start expanding higher to break the SMT, invalidate it, and end up trading. Probably just trading higher, filling in that daily imbalance, while YM and ES start to take the buy sides.
Okay, I made my long positions there. The 3-minute candle closure. Watching how we're reacting off of that down move there. We're very, very bullish off of the order block, off of the sell side, off the SMT. Get that displacement. Could be targeting the premium end 15-minute balances. Obviously, you would like the daily high, previous daily high. Partialing for sure.
Miami and ES are expanding through the internal high. So yeah, I think you should get caught up here.
Oh, I should zoom back in here. You can see. So we've inversed that first percentage fair value gap. I'm looking at partialing right here at the previous daily high. What I'm doing is break even once we get above this high. Watching as we trade to this 15-minute and taking it all off at this upper 15-minute there. Okay, I was going to say trailing to break even, but it does feel slightly tight. Thing is, I'm going to go to break even because if we get back down, there'll be re-entry. I don't see reason to get back down there. Play it. It's sure it's slightly tight, but it's more my logic. I always go to break even at these levels. Risk off on the trade. Should see the expansion anyway. If we're getting the move back down, it's a potential re-entry, better risk anyway. It always feels, for me, it always feels tight going to break even at these levels, but I trust the system. I trust that I'm trying to catch the expansion here, and I followed what I had outlined. So this is the break even level. So yes, ES is expanding, so we are watching that. Like I said yesterday, since we are taking those, or since we inversed that 4 hour, I ended up kind of having this bullish bias to all-time highs. Noting the 4 hour order block here, which is a big player in this move. Obviously, you can tell that it was very impactful in the move here. 4 points below that order block, right out. Also, I guess protected me on the downside here because I was looking at this move as I was like, we could potentially be bearish here. And then I'm like, but you don't want to be selling into the bullish 4 hour order block here. So also with this break even, we have the SMT at those highs still. So just watching that. Obviously, Inky's so close to that, right? You'd want it to at least take that high. So we're getting a 5-minute close here. What I would want is to see the 5-minute closing above there be yeah, it's 4 seconds. It's not that likely. So right here, 10 a.m. 10 a.m. is going to do one of two things here. Slight wick lower, trading to an imbalance, or just straight up. So we're taking that high there. Now completely comfortable with that break even. To see it return back into the range here, I guess would kind of be against the ideal expansion conditions. Previous day's high is coming up. It's only a few points away. So 15 point move away. Again, that's the partial, the previous day's high. It's 50% partial for me. And the rest is generously being left higher. I do strongly believe NQ's taking that previous day high. I have even a more bullish expectation as my runner is going up there. So the previous day high on NQ 44.25. Here it's 40. Okay, same price. Okay, that's so traded within 4 points of that previous day high here. Now the 10 a.m. obviously, the 10 a.m. open has a very, very small wick there. I check the live stream and see if anybody's watching. No.
I got it pulled up here too.
Yeah. So just sitting patiently. The break even is set. The TP1 and TP2 are set. Obviously, the partial, it's more of a, because we're trading into somewhat uncharted territories here, that I'm taking that. I could say I totally expect this expansion, which I somewhat do, but that is quite a ways higher here. Again, I would really prefer to be in more size. I mean, I have to trade alongside my risk requirements, but it's 180 points to my final TP, and to me that seems like a long way. But with the current market volatility, 150, 180 points is not that big. So getting real close to that previous day high, about a point. Oops, that was the wrong button. Okay, I took it off right there, my partial, because it was, a tick away from it. Now, just break even, letting the position run. I missed out on $2 because of that. The difference from where I closed it to the actual thing. So I'm gonna take it off for $2, and then holding the one contract up to the high there. Yeah, right. I looked at that trade too. Hey. Okay, there's the previous day high. Bang. Just like all those other traders. Get there's all the other traders start screaming when they hit a TP, like right now probably. They're all like, "Bang, chat! Did you take that? Put a 1 in the chat so I can sell my Discord." But seriously, guys, could you put 1 in the chats? I'm recording right now. I could post it on my I'll make a post on my Instagram story. Use code Dungeon for 25% off. Okay, a little bit of analysis, right? We got this 15-minute imbalance coming up. Right here, shaded. This shaded too. 2 15-minute imbalances. Looking for the premium one. Watching as we trade into that upper one. Wish I had more contracts running. 2 contracts, less partial ability. Right? You are stuck to 50% partial or 100%. There's not really any in between. I wish I mean, effectively, I could partial, right? Like, that's a thing that you can do. I could just sell 1 contract. Wait, no, I couldn't. Never mind. That's not how it works. I could partial by trailing my stop loss. So I'd be agreeing to close a bit of it at a certain price, which I would deem, I guess, invalidation. Okay, I'm actually taking it all out at the lower imbalance. Just right there. I like that risk to reward on that trade. It was a 1 to 2, right? Wait, what the fuck? Oh, I have the wrong imbalance marked up. Oh no, I've got the wrong one. I'll mark that up here. That's what. That's why. 15-minute fair value gaps right here. Like the trade. Like the trade. Yes, obviously if it runs to the upper one, and if it runs an extra 112 points, I missed out on some profit, but we're content with this right here. Nice 2R to start the week. I guess we're halfway through the week, but
First trade of the week.
here's the thing, and I would, it's a little unfortunate just because of my situation. Not the first trade of the week. I did my fucking 11 p.m. short last night.
Oh yeah, that's right.
2 nights ago. Here's the thing. If I had another contract, one would be running that extra 100 points, making an extra $200. But so we traded into the
Once 10 a.m. opened, if we would have retraced to like the 3-minute gap, I was gonna just buy the 3-minute gap.
Do you want to know why I didn't expect? Oh, I was like, it's 50-50 if we do.
Not the lower one, even just this upper one.
No, but you know why I didn't really expect it? Was because we had that 5-minute close there, like right near the high.
Oh yeah.
And like it got that. It had like the displacement that I looked for. It had that nice 15-minute close, and I was like, oh, you know what? Really getting back down to an equilibrium or even a fair value gap here seems like one of those trades I always.
It was only like 10 points away, 16 points away.
I mean, I just went off of that 3-minute change in state. Here's the thing. I don't think trading today is done. I think we've still got more opportunity here.
Well, so we've invalidated the SMT at the highs, so now it's just catching a part of the expansion.
Well, maybe I should have held then if it's still there.
Only thing
If it's still catching
for
up
me,
for the
though,
expansion
is 10 a.m. doesn't have a wick, so I'm not a huge fan of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like if 10 a.m. would have opened, had a shallow move lower to that premium 3 minute gap, I was gonna long there, which is also aligned with that 3 minute tiny inversion that we held from 936. I was gonna mark it by that 3 minute gap and just let it ride, not take anything off the high a day because the risk to reward there is not good. I would have been holding it probably for either a static 2 hour or just like up to the 4 hour fair value gap fill.
Well, I was on those 15-minute imbalances, looking at those ones for partial areas.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the one right now, and then we've got one higher. I'm, this happens when I'm in trades. I always end up taking them off when I'm content, right? But not always with the where my confidence extends to. But today, this 15-minute gap and this 15-minute gap, I couldn't tell you which one is more likely to hold or get traded to or expand and run through it. I just understand the function of both of them. This one's larger in size, could have a higher impact. We could want to get to that one. But I think trading to this one, right? And I guess I could show this one on this chart. I have it on the other one, but we trade into here, which is 1 and 1.5. If we were to get a little slight reaccumulation, which is 1.5 generally, right? Potential re-entry, and it makes sense to have that, and it's overlapped with the 15-minute imbalance because you might experience a little bit of hesitation there. Like I said, kind of reaccumulation, and then to see it run higher, we can knock out some of these other deviations. Standard deviation 4 is lining up with that fully filled 4 hour. Actually, that's lining up with the high from 10:52 on Friday, right before we had a somewhat large dump. So this is
We're actually coming into a key area here on YM. YM so swept that the first high of that low resistance liquidity run leading up to the external high from last week. We have, so off the 15-minute SMT that we formed prior to 10 a.m., we have 2 5-minute imbalances that we've traded through the first one already, but we're trading to the second one, the larger one. If that imbalance fails to hold, and that means that the SMT that we formed after open prior to 10 a.m. is most likely going to get invalidated, which wouldn't look good. But for a continuation higher, I would like to see, YM trade below the 10 a.m. opening price into that 5-minute gap and then continue to expand. And if we get that, then it's safe to say that NQ is going to follow.
okay. That's nice. It's a nice trade. I like that. That's my first real New York session trade in a long time. Haven't had one. Not been getting them. So what you'd be monitoring right now is the slight retracement into this imbalance. When you're in these expansion conditions, you are getting these very shallow retracements that are holding, like this one. I wish I could have done more contracts and had a bit more upside on this, but I didn't get the right fill stop loss placement on time. I was full size though. I couldn't have done better with sizing on that, but pretty hard.
Okay, YM's trading into the 5 minute gap here. It should trade into it. It's close.
All my things are messed up. So that's so weird. Look at this. So you can't tell the difference here. You can tell the difference there. And obviously you can tell the difference there. But like even if I move that, look, you can't tell the difference here. There's right there.
Did you have a gradient on it?
No. Oh, I guess on this one I do. Hold on. But you're saying if I put it, if it's dark, I should be able to put it to the bottom. Should be the same. Yeah, but then the thing is, it doesn't line up anywhere. Where is it the right color? Is it there? Ah, fuck, it doesn't matter. Dodgy had 2,000 people watching his live stream.
I guess so.
No wonder we didn't get any views.
Okay, there. YM traded into its 15-minute gap and the 5-minute gap. So I'd want to see this hold if we're going to get the continuation hour. Because the high that YM swept is actually the high that we left on Friday prior to the dump, which is like the relative equal highs with all-time highs.
I just do indicators and inverse fair value gap with a order block. Or change it.
It's the same as the other one.
It's new though.
Yeah, but it's pretty much the same as the other
But it marks out the entry is not the inversion, but the order block that trades into the fair value gap. It's if you're forming an order block trying to get to the fair value gap, and it's classifying. I think the last down close candle as the order block candle. I'm just looking at these other trades here too, which is odd. But like shorting there because it's closing, there's no imbalance. So no, it's weird. He said he was took 2 losses before. Yeah. See, look, these guys got the same executions as me, but he's in 4 minis. Tremaine's in 4 minis, not 2 micros. I think it's going to be a little bit slow now that it's up here. All these traders with Porsches, it's funny. I think they need to get a different car. It's either a GT4 RS or a BMW comp, M5 comp.
Yeah.
Everybody has the same cars. Look at Kim Kardashian's new underwear line. Bro. It's funny. just can't imagine somebody buying that, but it's gonna happen. Look at these ads in Florida.
On a boat.
On the water, right in front of the beach. Sorry, guys, I'm just doing my trade recap on the Twitter. It's kind of, I was forgetting to talk for a second. I almost forgot we were live.
NQ does have a 15-minute gap. That's decent. If we retrace, maybe a continuation.
I'm watching that too.
The only thing is the next drawn liquidity is super far. That's actually not crazy. Point wise, it's pretty crazy. 300 points. If anything, I'd target the hourly gap that's unfilled.
Yeah, that's better than
That's all I would do.
it's better than running it to the the all-time highs for that 300 points. But that 300 points, if the trade is offered and that's the draw on the trade, you're taking it. It's not really a point issue. It's a volatility requirement. I'm content. I'm gonna be done trading today. I've got all my limits removed and I'm ready to walk away. So starting to see price action, kind of kick it into gear a little bit. It's not really done much, but all right. Well, what do you think? Do you want to end the stream?
10:30. I mean, we could give it.
You could still trade too.
Could give it another 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Just see if we retrace this 15-minute gap. Because like I'm not really expecting.
You can narrate them. I'm gonna make coffee.
Yeah.
We'll keep at it. Sure.
Not really expecting us to. I mean, the only thing is the daily target. I guess the low hanging fruit for daily target would have been the previous day's high. So now it's like the next target's not super close, which means we could save it for another day. But considering the day we opened, expanded, small retracement to the 4-hour order block, continuation higher. I'm not expecting us to necessarily reverse here because YM still hasn't taken the it's in the low resistance liquidity run right now, so it took the first high. So I would like to see it start to make its way through the rest of the highs. The only thing I don't like is how the 10 a.m. doesn't really have a wick at all. I would have liked if that would have, obviously I would have been in a trade as well, but also making it so that I'm not really worried about it trading back to the 10 a.m. opening price to put in a wick. Yeah, only trade for me would be if, YM's back in that 5-minute. I'd like to see NQ dip into that 15-minute gap if we can. Without YM having inversed its 5-minute gap. I'd like to see it support that or find support in that 5-minute gap and then get retracement on NQ. It might be getting the retracement here to the 15-minute. YM still holding its 5-minute. Don't want to see YM displaced lower like NQ is. I'd like to see YM stay where it's at and let NQ retrace by itself. Yeah, I don't want to see why I'm go much lower. It's filled that 5 minute gap. Trading into that 5 minute breaker. I think you got 2 points away from the 50 minute gap.
Oh, we're moving.
Starting to finally. Kind of. Not really, actually. Not really. We've been stuck in this 1 minute range for like an hour almost. Well, if we don't trade into the 15-minute at 11 o'clock, then I'll probably be shutting her down, especially because YM's starting to reverse. I mean, as long as YM doesn't invalidate the SMT to lows, I'd be fine considering something. It's either 11 o'clock opens up, we quickly manipulate into the 50-minute gap, and then we pump, or it's going to be chop or slow retracement, I guess, lower maybe. But yeah, if 11 o'clock doesn't immediately flip bullish, like retracement flip bullish, I'll probably not take anything.
Well, do you want to keep live streaming? We could.
We can probably just end it.
We could edit it and update the Twitters as we
Like, unless it's
go through
11 o'clock opens into the 15-minute gap, and then we get something out of it within the first, 10 minutes, I'm not taking anything. Plus, he also, expanded all day and night.
Yeah.
So,
all day and all night and everything is green. You know that song? Like the blue song, like the I'm blue. At one point, it's like all day and all night and everything he sees or something like that is just blue. But I said it's just green, inside and out. We're pumping up.
oh, yeah, we can end the stream.
Well, that's a nice 200-point range though. Like open, right? Drops down 100 points from that low, pumps 217 points. So. All right, yes. In the bio, the links for the Twitters and the Instagram for the collective. Go give all of them a follow if you watch us. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the live stream. I know it was fun in the from the open to 10:30 kind of range. We had volatility. We had really good volatility. And then I went to make my coffee, and it was kind of a quiet live stream. But yeah, we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be good. We got some... Holy shit, did I spell volatile wrong? Yep, spelled volatile wrong. Oh, crap. All right. Well, I'm going to go fix that spelling error, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow.